Hello everyone, this is Jerobe Anderson reporting for BlackNewsForUs.com. Just want to start by saying thank you for listening today, and invite you to go to the website blacknews4us.com, and every single day I post about different news and events that pertains to Black people. So please go visit the website and join, and let me know what you think of these podcasts, because that's what's going to keep them going, is if I know that you all are out there supporting. All right, so today I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of a history lesson. I think a lot of people don't know very much about a lot of Black leaders, and from the past at least, and I just kind of wanted to spend this time to do a little bit of a history lesson. All right, so let's get started with Harriet Tubman, who was a runaway slave from Maryland. She became known as the Moses of her people. Over the years of 10 years and at great personal risk, she led thousands of slaves to freedom along the Underground Railroad, which was a secret network of safe houses where runaway slaves could stay on their journey north to freedom. William Lloyd Garrison, who I know a lot of you are saying, that man is not Black, but hey, neither is Bill Clinton, who, like Garrison, did so much for Black people that many have called him the first Black president. Garrison was really good friends with Harriet Tubman. Nah, I know a lot of you all are thinking something else, but it wasn't like that. They were just friends in a struggle. For more than 3 decades, from the first issue of his weekly newspaper, The Liberator, in 1831, until the end of the Civil War in 1865, when the last issue was published, Garrison spoke out eloquently and passionately against slavery and the rights of America's Black inhabitants. All right, now let's go to Frederick Douglass, who probably only had 1 page or maybe just a paragraph devoted to him in your 8th grade history class. Well, Frederick Douglass was mentored by the before-mentioned William Lloyd Garrison, and he was born into slavery in 1817. Frederick was a firm believer in the equality of all people, whether Black, female, American Indian, or recent immigrant. Sounds kind of like Martin Luther King, huh? He was also great at raising British money to start his anti-slavery newspaper, the North Star. Douglass wanted full citizenship, including social, civil, and political rights for Black people. Douglass conferred with Abraham Lincoln in 1863 on the treatment of Black soldiers, and with Andrew Johnson on the subject of Black suffrage. Despite apprehensions that the information might endanger his freedom as well as his life, Douglass published his autobiography, Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, an American slave, written by himself. All right, next up we have Booker T. Washington. He was born into slavery in 1856 on the Burroughs Tobacco Farm. Okay, now, there was a little drama between Booker T. and Frederick Douglass, kind of like the one between Malcolm and Martin, or Al Sharpton and Barack Obama, or Pac and Biggie. Nah, just joking about Pac and Biggie. But the drama was that, although both wanted the same thing, Booker T. Washington believed that Blacks should not push to attain equal civil and political rights with whites, and that it was best to concentrate on improving their economic skills and the quality of their character. The burden of improvement rested squarely on the shoulders of the Black man and woman. By doing this, he believed that Blacks would eventually earn the respect and love of the white man, and civil and political rights would be accrued as a matter of course. W.E.B. Du Bois and Frederick Douglass believed that government should give Blacks their equal rights now and not later. The views of Booker T. Washington were popularized by Black Muslims, the Black Panthers, and I really shouldn't even said the word Black Panthers, because by doing that, they might even just shut the video down. Alright, next up we have Marcus Garvey, who, after reading Booker T. Washington's Up From Slavery, decided to start the Negro Improvement Association African Communities League. And that's too many words. Well, what this did was it urged Blacks to be proud of their race and return back home to Africa, their ancestral homeland. He attracted thousands of supporters to facilitate the return to Africa that he advocated. In 1919, Garvey founded the Black Star Line to provide transportation to Africa. However, after a few voyages, the ship sank due to shady business practices. Garvey unsuccessfully tried to persuade the government of Liberia in West Africa to grant land on which Black people from America could settle. So the next time somebody says, go back to Africa, say, hey, you know what, we tried, but the government of Liberia would not let us in. Okay, next up we have Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He was one of the first Black leaders to really understand that The power was not just in the mouth or the sword, but it was in the dollar. Thus, the first march he organized, which was the bus strike, and the last, which was the sanitation workers union strike, caused change by taking money out of the oppressor's hands. Many of today's modern-day unions have taken this same approach. King organized the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, which was a large political rally that took place in Washington, D.C. on August 28, 1963. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his historic I Have a Dream speech advocating racial harmony at the Lincoln Memorial during the march. Approximately 250,000 people took place in this march. It is estimated that 200,000 were black and 50,000 were white. Dr. King's prevailing leadership trait was justice. Now, I want you all to go to my site, blacknews4us.com, and click on the link that says Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial. We gotta come together, we gotta get the money, and we got to build this memorial for him. He deserves it, okay? That way generations and generations will know about his contributions. The civil rights movement did not only benefit blacks, but it also benefited women and other minorities. Many whites lost their jobs and their livelihoods, not unlike the abolitionists of the 1800s. So my message to all the black youth that are watching this or reading this is never put all whites in a box. Many have suffered and died for the rights you enjoy today. So just take the time to know all people. Don't just rely on what mom and or the media have to say. And my message to white youth is never put blacks in a box. I know if you watch Cops, listen to Jay-Z, and go to Lakers games, you think all we know how to do is shoot jumpers, slap hoes, and kill other blacks. But what you may not know is that elevator you take when you go to the mall, it was invented by a black man, Alexander Mills. The first open heart surgery was performed by a black man also, Dr. Daniel Hale Williams. And Dr. Charles Drew invented blood banks and established them all around the world. I know all of you drove or will be driving somewhere in the next couple of days. Well, in 1940, Garrett A. Morrison invented the automatic traffic signal. Look outside. Yeah, go ahead, look outside. You see that grass that needs to be cut? Well, that would not be possible without John Burr, who invented the lawnmower. So the next time you listen to 50 Cent, watch Cops, think lawnmower, open heart surgery, traffic lights. Malcolm X, after going on a pilgrimage to Mecca, Saudi Arabia, shared his thoughts and beliefs with different cultures and found the response to be overwhelmingly positive. When he returned, Malcolm said he had met blonde-haired, blue-eyed men I could call my brothers. He returned to the United States with a new look on integration and a new hope for the future. This time when Malcolm spoke, instead of just preaching to African Americans, he had a message for all races, after which he was assassinated. Malcolm X's prevailing leadership trait is that of teamwork, which was evident in his wanting to unite with all races for social change. Thurgood Marshall was born on July 2, 1908 in Baltimore. Here's a list of his legal accomplishments. In 1954, he wins Brown v. Board of Education of Topeka, a landmark case that demolishes the legal basis for segregation in America. In 1956, he wins Browder v. Gale, ending the practice of segregation on buses and ending the Montgomery bus boycott. In 1967, he became the first African American elevated to the Supreme Court, and he served from 1967 to 1991. This man did not just talk about it, he went out and did it. Alright, so I'm going to close it there. Of course, there's many, many more African American leaders that I can spotlight, but just only have so much time in this podcast. So want you guys, once again, to go to my site, blacknews4us.com. Let me know what you think. Next week, I'm going to be spotlighting Tyler Perry. After that, I'm going to spotlight Barack Obama. So you guys just keep supporting, and I'll see you guys. I probably won't see you. There's thousands of you. Who knows? Maybe I will see you someday. But anyways, all right. Talk to y'all soon. God bless.